Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, and thank you to all the subscribers to the channel. Really appreciate you. So in this video, I'm going to share a dozen things to do in Barcelona. Plus, stick around, I'll be also sharing some tips and tricks like how to not get stolen from in the pickpocketing capital of the world, which is Barcelona. Also some food and transportation tips, how to get tickets for things, and a few other tips I think you'll find useful. I'll also be sharing a map of where all these things are located that I describe relative to each other to give you a bird's eye view. So stick around to the end of the video for that. All right, number one. This is the thing that people are going to ask you about when you go to Barcelona. The Sagrada Familia. So, highly recommend you check this out. It's still under construction. It's a giant cathedral, beautiful on the inside and the outside. Still under construction, architected by the late Antoni Gaudi. Should finish by 2026, which is 100 years after Gaudi's death. And there are two tower facades currently. You see here, I'm going up one of them. There's the Nativity facade and the Passion facade. So these two towers that you can buy tickets to go up as well with your entrance to the Sagrada Familia. So the Nativity is generally more satisfying from what I've researched. I have not gone up the Passion facade, but the Nativity got you some beautiful views and just a great experience. You can also do audio tours while you're walking around there. All right, number two, an FC Barcelona game. If they are playing when you're in Barcelona, I highly recommend you check it out. It was a singular experience for me. Just give this a listen. Wasn't that cool? It sure felt cooler than I could convey to you with this video, but highly recommend it. All right, number three, Montserrat Monastery. Now, this had amazing views, and absolutely, you take a train up to the monastery itself, and it's about an hour outside of Barcelona. Yeah, man, you can even take a cable car up a little bit higher than the monastery if you'd like. I did not do that. What I heard was that the views aren't that great up there. That's what our tour guide was telling us, just because there's rocks kind of on either side. But, you could check it out for yourself. There was a cheese market going on when we were there as well, which is kind of cool. And what you're seeing there, what you just saw was this cross where you can take about a mile hike too. It was an easy hike generally, I would say. And then you got this view. I mean, look at that. It was amazing. And here we're coming around to the monastery again right there. Lots of other hikes around here, but yeah, if you're going to Barcelona, I highly recommend you do Montserrat. Just totally worth it. All right, number four, parks. There are some pretty cool parks in Barcelona. The two that I would recommend, these are the most popular, are Park Güell and Ciutadella Park. So I'm showing you some images here of Park Güell. It's elevated, it's on a hillside, so you'll be hiking around some hills. It's not too challenging, by the way. A lot of it's flat, but great view of the city, lots of trees, lots of cool architecture. Also architected by Gaudi. So you can see the Sagrada Familia from there as well. We've got the iconic salamander statue and another cool statue. And then here I'll show you a few images after this one of Ciutadella Park, which there's also a zoo at. Just kind of a different feel, flat, relaxing, calming. So Ciutadella Park, another one definitely recommended. Number 5, hit up a beach. Barcoloneta is a very popular, sometimes too popular, of a beach. Bogatell or Marbella are some beaches that are close by. 10-minute walk from Barceloneta, a little less crowded. And if you want to take a drive, you can go to Sitges or Costa Brava, 45 minutes to an hour and a half away. And they're less crowded. By the way, there's nudity on a lot of these beaches. I think it's just a European thing, so expect that. Number 6, and this is a quick one, but super fun. A bike tour. I recommend you go with a guide. They will help you navigate and really see the sights. You can also do e-bikes. So definitely a great way to explore the city. Number 7, a Catamaran jazz cruise. This was very relaxing and peaceful. It took about an hour or 90 minutes. Take a listen. So super cool, awesome sunset views. You just have to hope that the weather's good when you go, so they don't cancel it. But man, this was certainly enjoyable for me. Got a great photo out of it, so take your camera. Number 8, museums. The 2 most popular ones would be the Picasso Museum and the Museu Nacional de Art de Catalunya. And just lots of cool stuff to see at both. Picasso Museum obviously is about Picasso and his art. And then these next 2 photos you'll see here are the other museum that I won't attempt to say again. But you can spend several hours in both of these and have a great time. Number 9, kayaking. This obviously is not exclusive to Barcelona, but we went up to Costa Brava, about an hour and a half outside of Barcelona, kayaked in the ocean, went around some cool caves and did some cliff diving. Did some snorkeling as well. The snorkeling wasn't great, not a lot to see, but it was really cool to just get out into the ocean. Cold water, by the way, but had a blast. Number 10, vineyard or wine tours or wine tasting. I didn't really do this, but it's Barcelona. Spain has a ton of wine exports there, so if you're into that, you will certainly find a lot of tours that offer this, and it can be a blast for you. Number 11, cable cars. There's 2 cable cars that are worth your time. There's the Port cable car and then the Montjuic cable car. So we're seeing some views of the Port cable car, and then this one that we're looking at now is the Montjuic cable car. So they just kind of get you elevated. Lots to do up at Montjuic Mountain, by the way. Some gardens and things like that. But just ways to get elevated above the city and have a great time. All right, guys, that was a dozen tips for things to do in Barcelona. Highly recommend all of those. But here's a few bonuses. I'm walking Las Ramblas here. That's a fun walk. It's like a mile long. Lots of little stores. Don't get pickpocketed there. Gothic Quarter has some cool architecture. More Gaudi. Anything Gaudi, it would be worth it. Just look him up on Google. You can see a ton with Anthony Gaudi. And here we're looking at La Boqueria, which is a market. So if you're a foodie, absolutely have to stop by this place. All sorts of goodies, and just a great food place to check out. So flamenco is another thing I recommend. Oh, back to the Boqueria. if you go to their website, you can kind of see what food stands they have. So pretty cool. All right, guys, so you've made it this far in the video and you've seen a lot of things to do in Barcelona. Now I want to share with you some tips. I've got 8 tips for you that will make your trip better. So just things that I think you'll find helpful that I would have liked to have known before I went. So here we go. First of all, the language. What language is spoken in Barcelona? Well, there's a couple. So they speak Spanish and they speak Catalan, which is similar to Spanish, but I speak Spanish and I didn't understand Catalan. So most people will speak both of those languages, but in the tourist areas, undoubtedly people will speak English. So I got along just fine for a week speaking English generally. So no worries. If you just speak English, that is great. You'll be fine. Tip number 2, food. So first of all, what time do they eat? Typically 2 to 4 p.m. for lunch and 9 to 11 p.m., give or take, for dinner. So it's later than a lot of us Americans are used to. You can still find food, no problem, outside those times, but you will find a lot of places are closed up if you try to eat earlier than that. Tapas are appetizers. And there's a lot of fun tapas to try. There's a lot of tapas bars and places where you just get these little snack foods basically. But I've actually had whole meals straight up of tapas. And some things that they have that maybe you can look for that I really enjoyed were patatas bravas, la bomba, Russian salad, and croquetas. And another meal that is very traditional Spanish, it's not a tapa, it's a meal, generally around lunchtime you'd eat this, is what's called paella. And I'll show you a picture of that here. I wasn't the biggest fan personally, but a lot of people love it. Third tip for food, there's a ton of gelato places. So if you like gelato, you'll be very happy there. So every couple blocks there's a gelato place. I got it several times myself. And it was good. It wasn't like super special compared to what I've had in other places, but it was good. Okay, tip number 3, tipping at restaurants is not really a thing. So you don't have to worry about doing that. Okay, you can if you want, but you don't have to. Number 4, transportation. So I loved the metro. It worked really great. And I got what was a 10 ride pass. You just go down into the metro and you go to a little terminal there, and within about a minute, maybe 2 minutes, you have a little 10 ride pass. It was called the casual pass, I think. And so that worked for me for the whole week. So that's a great way to go. They go pretty much everywhere in the city. If you want something a little more convenient, taxis are also everywhere. I also wrote a bunch of those, and you just have to make sure you know where they stop. So just look around if you're at an intersection or in streets and see where they might be driving by and see where they might be stopping, and just go flag one down. It was super easy. They were great. We tried, as far as ride sharing, we tried Uber, we tried Cabify. They didn't really work. We couldn't catch rides with them. It just didn't work. It was always looking for rides, or the cars were like very far away. So not very common. You might try an app called Free Now if you want to try ride sharing. A lot of taxis had the Free Now banner plastered across their windshields on the back. So that's an app you can try if you want. Otherwise, just flag a taxi or hop in the metro. And I actually heard that buses were pretty good there too, but I didn't personally ride any. Okay, next tip here. How to not get pickpocketed. And Barcelona is known as the pickpocketing capital of the world. So be careful. I'm taking some tips from Rick Steves, travel guide. He's a pretty famous European travel guide. I think maybe not just Europe, but he has a lot of great stuff, so I invite you to check him out. A colleague of mine actually saw a pickpocketer, what looked like a pickpocketer, running away with a wallet and very gleeful. So he wasn't in a position to do anything about it, but it happens all over the place. So some tips from Rick Steves. Be prepared. Take steps to minimize potential loss. So make copies or take photos of key documents, like your passport, driver's license, etc. Leave expensive items at home. And don't take luxurious luggage or luxurious bags because they'll be targets. If it looks fancy, it's more of a target, all right? Leave your valuables in the hotel room, but not in the open. For example, your passport or laptop or iPad, things like that. They'll be safer in the hotel room than out with you, unless you obviously need them out and about. But just don't leave them in the open in your hotel room. Put them in a bag or something like that, and you generally will be fine. Secure your bag or gadgets or valuables to you when you're out and about. So, wallets, use wallet chains or make sure things have zippers, straps, camera straps. Make sure things are secured to you. Make sure someone can't just walk up to you and snatch it and run away, because that happens. Even when you go swimming, leave someone at the beach guarding your things, or get waterproof stuff and just carry it with you if you go down into the water. Let's see, and 2 more tips with regards to how to not get pickpocketed. You can take a money belt. Rick Steves recommends a money belt, so it's like a miniature fanny pack, if you will, that goes under your clothing generally. So that's more hidden. You won't be a target with that. And lastly, layers. So like for a backpack, maybe get a backpack that has multiple layers, like a strap, and then once the strap is opened, there's a zipper, for example. Things like that. Or layers with clothing. So like you can have a top layer of clothing if it's not too hot, and then underneath that layer of clothing have your valuables. So those are some tips about how to not get pickpocketed. So be careful. Number 6, my tip number 6 here is how to buy tickets for things. Viator was a great resource for us. We got tickets for Montserrat, catamaran sailing, and kayaking through Viator. So all sorts of excursions are available there. If it's tickets for like a venue, like the Picasso Museum, Sagrada Familia, Park Guell, you can also get those on Viator, but it was very easy to get those tickets on websites, which they just have a website for each venue like that. So that worked really well also. Souvenirs, tip number 7. If you want some kind of run-of-the-mill souvenirs from Barcelona, just walk La Rambla, walk that street. Tons of souvenir shops all over the place of different kinds. They're all like the same. So just go in one and see what they have, and that's probably what the next one has. If you want something a little more unique, you're going to have to search for it probably. So I didn't have the time to do that much souvenir shopping myself, so I picked up some things from La Rambla, from that street. But yeah, lots of souvenirs. And then tip number 8, I'm going to share with you a map. So let's look at that and show you around. All right, guys, so here is the promised map. So take a look here. Here we got Barcelona, all right, with everything in Barcelona. What I'm going to do is take away a lot of the details besides my map points. And here we go. So we zoom out quite a bit. We got there where my mouse is, the Barcelona area, right? And then some things to do outside Barcelona that you can do while you're visiting Barcelona. So Costa Brava is up here. Near my mouse up here, and you see this big beach. That's a nice beach right there. Really loved that one. That's where I went kayaking. So that's where Costa Brava is, about an hour and a half outside of Barcelona. And then another nice beach, this is what our local tour guide suggested. I never made it out. This is where he goes to the beach, is Sitges Beach. That's like 40 minutes, 45 minutes outside of Barcelona. There's the airport, okay, for reference. And then up here is Montserrat. That was about an hour outside of Barcelona. So then, to give you an idea of where things are relatively within Barcelona as well, let's start over here on the left. We've got the Camp Nou, the Barcelona stadium, soccer stadium or football stadium. Parc Güell's up here near the top side, so north side of Barcelona. Sagrada Familia is out there. And then we zoom in a little more, we have all this stuff. So just if you want to see all this stuff, if you want to make it more convenient on yourself, you can get a hotel that's kind of in this area. And here's La Rambla. This is La Rambla Street that my mouse is going over right here. Okay. Mercado de la Boqueria is right there. And the Gothic quarters right there. And the Picasso Museum. Ciutadella Park's a little bit farther away. The hotel I stayed in was over here somewhere, I think, with my mouse. So I walked to Picasso Museum. I actually walked La Rambla. It's like less than a mile long, probably 3/4 of a mile long. I walked all these places from my hotel, and it wasn't bad. Here's the Catamaran place that we went to. I walked all the way along the beach, Barcoloneta beach, Playa de Bogatell, Playa de Marbella. So these are other beaches that are a little more quiet than Barceloneta. Okay, and I walked all the way over here to Playa de Marbella. So you can do it. It took me like a half hour to get out there. That was probably 1.5 miles or 2 miles from my hotel at the top of La Rambla. But if you want a hotel anywhere near, let's see, what was this called? Plaza de Catalunya, you're going to have a lot to see around you, okay? Lots within walking distance. A lot of these more popular sites. Here's the port cable car that takes you over the water there. And this is Montjuic right here. And the Magic Fountain. And the Museu Nacional de Arts de Catalunya. And then the other cable car of Montjuic. So I think that pretty much covers it, guys. That kind of gives you an idea. Again, take this base map away. It kind of gives you an idea of where a lot of these things that I've talked about are concentrated, okay? So, hope that's helpful. And, alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll leave it at that. If you enjoyed the video, I ask that you consider subscribing. That really helps me out. No worries if not, but just ask that you consider it at least, even if you're not super interested in my stuff. And man, safe travels, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time. Alrighty, we'll see ya. Thank you. Bye.